Hello everyone, I'm so excited to show you this technique. We are going to be using strips of fabric to create pieced hexagons, and then of course we'll also use some regular hexagons. These are 2-inch hexagons. I used 4 different fat quarters and I cut those into 1.5-inch strips. Okay, so I have all my fabrics washed, dried, ironed. And I have the 4 layers that I'm going to use here on the cutting board. First thing I need to do is I need to just clean up this edge so that they are all the same width. So I've got this lined up here at the 21. Always cut away from yourself. So I need these strips 1.5 inches. So we'll go back to right here to the 22.5 mark. So I need to make sure I have it correct on both ends. And I have a clean edge here. So now I'll go ahead and do these. Now these are actually fat quarters that I've washed, dried, ironed, and I've stacked them up so that I can go ahead and cut these into 1.5-inch strips. So there you can see, and then we'll take those to the sewing machine and sew those together. Okay, so I finished sewing my strips together. So I've gone ahead and brought it over here to the ironing board. I'm going to get all these seams to lay flat. I sprayed it with my water bottle. I never ever put water in my iron. Okay, you can see my iron's nice and hot. It's pressing these seams flat. I'm going to turn it over just so I can check the other side. I just want to make sure that all the seams opened up nicely and that it looks really uniform. So I've already done my other strip. So now we can go to the cutting board. Okay, so we have our iron strips here at the cutting board. We just need to go ahead and clean up those edges from where we sewed the strips together. This is the piece that we're going to be wrapping. Now, of course, you could wrap it this way, which would be really pretty, but I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to wrap them this way. This is a 2-inch hexie. So what we need to do is I like a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. So for these, we will be cutting at, looks like about 4.5, if I measured that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4.5. But I'm actually just going to eyeball these. As you can see, I've already got this strip up here. I've got the second strip here, and I've lined them up so we can go ahead and cut these. Looks like it's a little too big. Move it. And then that is exactly what we're going to use to wrap our hexagon. Okay, let me show you how to do this particular flower. You are going to need 6 petals and of course 1 center. Now for my centers, I am using solid colors, and of course you're just going to base those the same way you always do. Finger press around the edges, and then baste. If you glue baste, that's fine too. So now that I have that finger pressed all the way around, I'm just going to, whoops, what have I done? Okay, I'm just going to thread baste all the way around. And you guys know how to do this, so I don't need to show you this one, do I? So you want at least 1/4 inch on the seam allowance for these. I like mine a little bit larger. Looks like I cut this one kind of crazy. So, well, I'm almost done. Let me go ahead and do this one. Hey, if you guys are on Facebook, find me on Facebook. I'll put a link in the notes for this show. Just click on the title and it'll take you to that link. Oops. Last one. And also, if you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like the videos, it will save the video in your liked videos folder and make it easier for you to find in the future. Okay, so now I've got that one done. Now we need to do some of the pieced ones. So what I've done is I want the points to be at the ends where the long stripes are. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I want the stripes to run up and down this way. So what I'm gonna do is, of course, I'm gonna cut it along the edges because that really is way too much fabric. And I'm just eyeballing it. So I'm gonna cut around the edges. And as long as you have at least 1/4 inch, you're good. So once I get to this point, this is where I will start folding these down. Now I want to make sure that I'm lined up in between these stripes correctly. And you're going to end up with a lot of bulk at this corner. Just make sure that the corners look the same on each end. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and folded them, and I've used these clips to hold them in place so that I get my stripes exactly the way that I want them across the piece. So I can just remove these as I baste each corner. These clips are really handy. I know a lot of people use quilters clips, which are plastic. These are just the binder's clip that you get at the office supply store. So I'm just going to go around on that and just remove the clips as I go. So you've got the idea. So then I end up with all of my hexagons. So I have my solid center hexagons, and then I have my striped hexagons. Let me show you a fun way to lay these out. I'll show you a few fun ways actually. So here what I'm doing is I'm matching up the yellow to make these points. And it actually ends up with this beautiful yellow triangle in the center. Do you see that pattern there? So that's one layout. Another layout is to just gently turn these, and then you have like this radiating star pattern here, which I really love this as well. Another thing you can do is turn it so that all the stripes go out from the center. Aren't these just so much fun? And then of course, if you did a different color, see how much that changes it again. So I can see all kinds of different possibilities with this. What do you guys think of these? Do you like them? Could you see yourself using them? Let me show you one other set that I did, and I can't wait to lay these out either. So this is the center that I've chosen, and this one I'm definitely going to do that kind of spiraling pinwheel around. Anyway, please do like and subscribe. Find me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I really hope you're enjoying this, and happy sewing.